Good day, everyone. I am Elmer Nocillas, students of Bachelor of Science in Agriculture, major in Agronomy, and today we're going to present a video presentation under the instructor of Vice Chancellor at Tani Bandera, sir. To start, I would like to introduce to you about my topic, micro and macro, the economic divide. So economics is a split into two realms, the overall economy and individual markets. This is according to G. Chris Rodrigo. Physicists look at the big world of planets, stars, galaxies, and gravity, but they also study the minute world of atoms and the tiny particles that comprise those atoms. Economists also look at two realms. There is a big picture, macroeconomics, which is concerned with how the overall economy works. It studies such things as employment, gross domestic product, and inflation, the stuff of news, stories, and government policies debates. Little picture. Microeconomics is concerned with how supply and demand interact in individual markets for goods and services. In macroeconomics, the subject is typically a nation, how all the markets interact to generate big phenomena that economists called aggregate variables. In the realm of microeconomics, the object of analysis is a single market. For example, whether price rises in the automobile or oil industries are driven by supply or demand changes. The government is a major object of analysis in macroeconomics. For example, studying the role it plays in contributing to overall economic growth or fighting inflation. Microeconomics often extends to the international sphere because of domestic markets and linked to foreign markets through trade, investment, and capital flows. But microeconomics can have an international component as well. Single markets often are not confined to single countries. The global market, or petroleum, is an obvious example. The macro-micro split into institutionalized or economics. From beginning courses in principles of economics through to post-graded graduate studies. Economists commonly consider themselves microeconomists or macroeconomists. The American Economic Association published several academic journals, including two called Microeconomics and Macroeconomics. Why the divide? In fact, from the late 18th century until the Great Depression of 1930s, economics was the study of how human society are organized, the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. The field began with the observation of the earliest economists, such as Adam Smith, the Scottish philosopher, popular credited with being the father of economics. Although the scholars were making economic observation long before with Smith authored The Health of Nation in 1776. Smith's notion of an invisible hand that guides someone seeking to maximize his or her own well-being to provide the best overall result for society as a whole is one of the most compelling notions in the social sciences. Coexistence and complementary. Microeconomics is based on models of consumer or FRMS, which economists called agents that make decisions about what to buy, sell, or produce, with the assumption that those decisions result in perfect market clearing, demand equals supply, and other ideal conditions. Macroeconomics, on the other hand, began from observed divergences from what would have been anticipated result under the classical tradition. Macroeconomics in its examination of behavior of individual consumers and FRMS is divided into consumer demand theory. Production theory is also called the theory of FRM, and related topics such as the nature of market competition, economic welfare, the role of imperfect information in economic outcomes, and at the most abstract, general equilibrium, which deals simultaneously with many markets. Macroeconomics is more abstruse. It describes relationship among aggregates so big as to be hard to be apprehend, such as national income, savings, the overall price level. The field is conventionally divided into the study of national economic growth in the long run, the analysis of short-run departures from equilibrium, and the formulation of policies to stabilize the national economy, that, that is, to minimize fluctuation. In more macroeconomics is more abstruse, to minimize fluctuations in growth and prices. How they differ? Contemporary microeconomic theory evolved steadily without fanfare from the earliest theory of how prices were determined. Macroeconomics, on the other hand, is rooted in empirical observations that existing theory could not explain. How to interpret those anomalies has always been controversial. There are no competing schools of thought in microeconomics, which is unified and has a common core among all economists. The best known schools are the new Keynesians and the new classicals, but these divisions have been narrowing over the past few decades. Blanchard, Del Larisha, and Maru 2010. Microeconomics and macroeconomics are not the only distinct subfields in economics. Econometrics, which seeks to up statistic and mathematical methods to economic analysis, is widely considered the third core area of economics. Without the major advances in econometrics made over the past century or so, much of sophisticated analysis achieved in microeconomics and macroeconomics would not have been possible. G. Chris Rodrigo, a writer on economics issues, was previously a visiting scholar in IMF's research department. So these are the reference: Blanchard, Oliver, Giovanni, Del Arisha, and Paulo Mauro, 2010. Rethinking Macroeconomic Policy, IMF, Stop Possession Note 10/03, Washington, International Monetary Fund. So this is my report, and thank you very much.